Hi everyone, this is Paris Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop, and I'm going to take you through a tour of some of the work that I do as a fortune teller. I'm going to look at fortune telling and divination systems that I work with. Now, I've been a fortune teller, professional fortune teller since 1990, also a psychic reader, if you want to call it that. And I've had 4 different fortune telling shops in my career, and this is the Crown Street store that I'm showing you here. This is my latest one. Happens to be the smallest one as well, but it's in the busiest section of Sydney. So palmistry is one of the forms of reading people that I use. So this is a palmistry template that I've made, and I draw people's lines in the graph that I've made there. So I usually draw people's lines. I write their name first, get them to write their name and their date of birth. And then we proceed to draw in the lines. So I look at their right hand, or the hand that they write with, I mean. So if they're right-handed, I'll look at their right hand. If they're left-handed, I'll look at their left hand. That's the lifeline that I just drew there. Now the headline and the heart line. So I usually will draw these in, and different people have different line shapes and lengths. This is the fate line or career line, and that is the Mercury line as well. So most people have all of these lines, but some people have some that are not there, and then I explain and we talk about it with the clients. These are the mounts. So we've had, that's Jupiter, Saturn, Apollo and Mercury mounts, and the moon. And the first one I did was Venus. This is Mars and Mars. So the Venus mount is for love and family. Jupiter is to do with knowledge and wisdom. Saturn is to do with discipline. And Apollo is to do with creativity. Mercury is how we communicate, and the moon is how we emote and our emotions. So now we do tarot. I'm going to look at some tarot. So tarot is probably the most famous and the most known. And most fortune tellers do use tarot. So these are some tarot cards that I've designed. This is the gold sky deck with keywords. I created this one for my students to be able to learn easily by referencing the keywords. And this is the gold sky deck without keywords now, and I'm going to do a Celtic cross. The Celtic cross is probably the most kind of famous tarot card spread, and it's a 10 card spread layout. So that's card 1, card 2. Card 2 crosses over 1. Card 2 is usually the challenge, and then the card underneath is the foundation, past. That's your hopes. Future direction, how you feel, how others feel around you, future goals, and then the outcome. So this is just the general way of looking at the Celtic cross. So that's the crossing card, the foundation card now, recent past or what's leaving, your hopes and your goals, future direction. This is the person I'm reading for again, their goals. This is the next one is the surrounding. This one is the surrounding. card, people around you, your goals and hopes, and that's your future outcome. So when you do a Celtic cross, you use your intuition with the cards. Obviously you learn the card meanings as well. These are some examples of other decks that I've created. This is the yellow learner's deck with keywords. And this is the blue sky deck with keywords as well. I've been teaching tarot for about 25 years. So I created these decks for my students so they can learn quickly. Next we get to astrology. So astrology is the 12 signs of the zodiac and the planets and the movements of the planets, and sometimes I use asteroids as well, planet asteroids. This is the zodiac star signs, 12 zodiacs. It's the stained glass window deck that I created, and these are some other cards that I use as well. This is an example of how I would use planetary cards to do astrology readings as well. So these are some black and white gods and goddesses cards that I created as well. There's 12 cards in the deck, and these are great for using in zodiac astrology card readings. So we've got the different gods. We've got Pluto there, we've got Venus, Mars, Apollo, the Sun, Jupiter, and I've put two asteroids in this one, a Medusa and Perseus as well, to even out the deck, to make it a 12 card deck. I use these cards a lot because I find them quite accurate and quite in depth. Sometimes I use systems together like palmistry and cards, and then sometimes I might use them separately. It depends on the client. Every reading is different, every client is different. All these different methods are just like tools in the toolbox. Then what I do is I usually write down the gods and goddesses in the graph there, and then I usually write some notes, tell the client what I'm seeing. So it's quite an interesting time for the client to see all the different systems. And then I interpret the symbols for them. That's how I write all the glyphs, all the planetary glyphs into the hand. The 12 gods and goddesses. Then I do Lenormand as well. Lenormand is a 36 card deck, and it has symbols, it has numbers, and it has inserts, which is the playing card section. The Lenormand system is very good for asking specific questions. Will this happen today? Will I get a job promotion? Does this person like me or not? And usually I do the 5 card spread, which is this one. When a client is asking a direct question, usually I just do a 5 card spread for the question. So for example, if they're asking, will I buy a car in the next 12 months? I would probably do a 5 card spread about that. Or if they're asking about their love life or whatever, career, money, family. And then sometimes when they're wanting a bit more of a in-depth or more complex reading, I'll do this 9 card spread. It's also called the box spread. So it's basically 9 cards laid out. These 3 are the recent past. The middle line is more the present. present, and then the future line. The middle card is the focus card, and then the last card is the outcome or the exit. So there you go. This is the grand tableau where you use the whole 36 cards in the reading. Now, also numerology is another system that I love to use, and I've created some cards for that. This is a 10 card deck, so 0 to 9. And each card has a zodiac and also a planet connected to it. These cards I find to be quite accurate as well. I think all divination is accurate if you know how to use it. And you respect it and honor it. It always works. And this is how I would do the nine card spread. So I usually draw a graph for the client as well, and then I pull out, the client usually will pull out the cards or shuffle the cards, and I'll create a chart for them using the cards. So once we lay them out, then we start to interpret them. And then the last card is the missing card. So in this case, it's number 8. So number 8 is missing from this reading, which would indicate the client needs to incorporate the 8 energy better in their life. 8 is usually to do with prosperity and money and also success. So then I draw down the cards. So each card has a position in the graph. I'm trying to do this with one hand. And then the missing number is 8. So then I would explain that to the client and what that means. This is what the chart looks like, the numerology card chart. It's quite complex, but once you learn it, it's actually very, very powerful. The numerology vibrations and the numbers in each position. Well, that was a little sort of example of some of the stuff that I do. It's only a few little techniques that I've used. I'll make more videos about other techniques. So this is Paris Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop. And they were 5 forms of divination that I use.